This god has no eyelids, he cannot close his eyes, and yet every night someone tucks him in. He has no hands, he has no feet. The sculptor who was carving him was interrupted mid work, and the god chose to remain in that unfinished form forever. No hands, so every morning someone feeds him. No feet, so once a year an entire city carries him through the streets. No eyelids, so every night someone sings him to sleep. Every other temple in India worships God. Puri looks after him. This is what happens inside that temple in 24 hours. The first person to enter the Jagannath Temple every morning is not a head archaka, not a senior official. He is a sevaka called the Talicha Mahapatra, and his job is to check the seal. Every night when the last niti is done, this man presses his own seal into the wax on the main door, his personal mark, proof that after these doors closed, nobody entered, that the god inside spent the night undisturbed. This morning the seal is intact, the doors open, the Garbhagriha is dark. Jagannath is still in the silk he was wrapped in last night, alone since midnight. Not anymore. The doors are open, the Garbhagriha is still dark, and now the ritual that wakes him up begins. The Mangala Alati. A sevaka lifts a lamp, camphor, ghee below the Ratnavedi, the raised platform where the three murtis sit. He moves it slowly in front of them in the old way. This is the first light Jagannath sees every morning. Think about what that actually means. He has no eyelids, so we are not saying that this is a first light after he opened his eyes. His eyes were never closed. He was watching the dark all night, and somebody inside this household decided that even a god who never stops watching deserves to have someone bring him a flame at dawn. Not because he needs a light to see, because it is a small ordinary kindness you offer someone who has been awake all night. This is how they say good morning to him. And he is not alone on that platform. His elder brother Balabhadra sits on one side, his younger sister Subhadra between them. Three murtis, one throne. The Mangala Alati goes to all three because nobody in this family wakes up alone. Before the bath, the night clothes come off. The mailam, sevakas carefully remove what he wore through the night. The flowers, now a little tired. The silk, the ornaments, a plain cotton cloth is draped over him for what comes next. Then the bath begins, and this is where Puri does something no other major temple does. They do not bath the Murti directly, they bath his reflection. Three large brass mirrors are brought into the Garbhagriha. Every niti of the Abakasha is performed on the mirror image. Because the sacred form is made of neem wood and the water would damage it over time, so the bath happens in reflection. But there is a deeper reason woven into the logic of this temple. In Vedantic thought, the individual soul is a reflection of the Supreme. You clean the mirror to see the original clearly. Every morning in Puri, they are cleaning the mirror. While this is happening, an astrologer reads the tithi, the exact position of the moon, and whispers the day's ritual schedules to the sevakas. The day is being calibrated around one question. What does he need today? The same form every day, the same round face, the same enormous eyes, the same unfinished arms, but he does not wear the same thing twice. Jagannath changes clothes multiple times every day. Different silks, different ornaments, colors following a planetary calendar. Sunday is red, Monday is white, Tuesday is saffron, 7 planets, 7 colors, 7 days. The world changes around him. The silk changes, the form underneath, it never does. Then comes hour that may be the most radical thing this temple does. The Sahana Mela. The doors open to everyone. No ticket, no category, no queue by donation amount. The fisherwoman from the coast, the software engineer from Bangalore, the old man who has made this journey every year for 40 years. Same stone floor, same air, same God looking back at all of them. In a country where almost everything is sorted by background for 1 hour every morning, this room is not. The Roshagara, the temple kitchen, is the largest in the world. 100 hearths burn simultaneously. The fuel is wood, the pots are earthen, replaced after every single use. No pot cooks for Jagannath twice. The cooks are hereditary Suaras, families who have held this role for generations. 500 cooks working in shifts, earthen vessels stacked in enormous columns. The food cooked in the Roshagara is offered first to Jagannath, Balabhadra and Subhadra, three deities, three separate offerings, the household eating together. Then it travels to the Vimala Devi shrine in the southwest corner of the complex. Vimala is a tantric goddess, a Shaktipita completely distinct from Lakshmi, her own lineage, her own theology. But in Puri, the rule is absolute. The food only becomes Mahaprasad after Vimala receives it. Before she eats, it is temple food. After she eats, it is something else. And then it reaches the Ananda Bazaar. Every background, same floor, same leaf every single day. There is a reason this temple has fed everyone equally for 500 years. A story behind it about a goddess who walked away, a god who learned what hunger feels like, and a condition placed before she came back. But that story belongs at the end of this day, not here. The sanctum seals, the elder rest. The city does not stop. The household continues. The Sandhya Alati, 21 wicks, camphor burning. Outside, the salt air from the Bay of Bengal comes across the rooftops. Inside, incense. These two meet somewhere near the main door every evening, and what they produce is a smell that people who have been to Puri describe for the rest of their lives and cannot fully explain to anyone who hasn't. The evening meal comes lighter. Pakal, watered rice, the food of coastal Odisha, the food of winding down. The household is moving towards night. First the chandan lagi, sandalwood paste mixed with camphor, musk and kesar applied to the murti for coolness to help him sleep. Someone is rubbing sandalwood on a god who has been dressed and undressed and fed and bathed all day to bring down the heat of it. Then comes the most important dressing of the entire 24 hours, the Bada Singhara Besha. The silk for this Vesha is a cloth called the Kanduva Patta, woven in Odia script in tie and dye with verses from Jayadeva's Gita Govinda, a 12th century Sanskrit love poem written for Jagannath, pressed into silk, pressed against the sacred wood every single night. Tradition holds that this is the hour when Radha and the gopis come to see him. This is why the Bada Singara is the most important Vesha. It is the one he wears for the people who loved him most. He will not rest until he is dressed in those verses. The Kata Seja Lagi, the laying out of the bed. The Sayana Thakur, a small gold figure, is placed beside him, close enough to keep him company through the night. Betel leaves, a green coconut, pakal, a few sweets. The food you leave for someone before you sleep. A kirtan begins, not for anyone watching. The crowd left hours ago. Just a few voices near the door singing him toward rest. Then the Talicha Mahapatra, the same man who broke the seal this morning before dawn, presses his mark into the wax on the door. The doors close. The temple goes dark. Now I want to tell you something. All day you watch this temple feed people, the Ananda Bazaar, every background, same floor, same leaf, 500 years without interruption. You may have wondered why. What made this temple decide 8 centuries ago that the food here belongs to everyone equally? There is a 16th century Odia text called the Lakshmi Purana written by a poet named Balaramadas, and the story it tells is the answer. One Thursday, Lakshmi, goddess of fortune, the consort of Jagannath, leaves the temple and walks through the city to see who is worshipping her properly. She finds a home of a woman called Shriya, a woman her society called untouchable, a Chandaluni. Shriya's home is swept clean. The walls are decorated with jyoti, the rice paste murals that Odia women draw to honor Lakshmi. There are lotus flowers at the threshold, a small offering laid out with every scrap of devotion this woman has. Lakshmi steps inside. She accepts the worship. She blesses Shriya with everything she can give. And then she returns to the temple. But when Lakshmi reaches the main door of the Sri Mandir, the same door the Talicha Mahapatra just sealed, Jagannath and his elder brother Balabhadra are waiting, and they will not let her in. Balabhadra speaks first. He tells Jagannath that Lakshmi has polluted herself by entering the home of an untouchable woman. Jagannath wavers, but in the end he sides with his brother, and Lakshmi walks away. She curses them both, and the moment she leaves, everything stops. The kitchen cannot cook, the fires won't light, the food won't come, and the two most powerful gods in eastern India begin to starve. For 12 years. 12 years of going house to house across the city, asking strangers for something to eat. 12 years of being turned away at door after door. 12 years of Jagannath, the Lord of the universe, begging for food. What they learn in those 12 years is simple. Hunger has no caste. Starvation does not ask about your lineage. A god refused food at 1,000 doors is no different in that moment from any human being who has ever been refused food at a door. At the end of those 12 years, they arrive at one last house. A poor woman takes them in. She feeds them, and only after they have eaten do they realize who she is. It is Lakshmi, and the house is Shriya's house, the same home they once called polluted. The brothers have nothing left to say. Lakshmi forgives them, but she places a condition. From this day forward, nobody will be turned away from the food of this temple. Brahmin and Chandal on the same floor, the same leaf. No one, regardless of where they come from, regardless of what they were born into, will ever be told the food here is not for them. That is why the Ananda Bazaar exists the way it does. That is why every single day for 500 years the food of this temple has belonged to everyone because of a woman called Untouchable and a goddess who refused to let her be. Now you know the whole day. The unsealing, the flame before dawn, the bath in the mirrors, the silk that changes color with the planets, the hour when no one is turned away, the kitchen that buries the food if the intention is wrong, the love poem pressed into the night silk, the lullaby, the seal. And now in the dark, after the doors have closed, the story of why the food was ever shared equally at all. Every other temple I have been to, the relationship is vertical. You come, you stand below, you offer, you receive, you leave. Puri is horizontal. This god arrived in a form with no hands, no feet, no eyelids. A form that cannot hold its own food, cannot walk through its own city, cannot close its own eyes against the dark. And for 8 centuries, this city decided, if that is a form he chose, then every act of care he cannot perform for himself will be performed for him by someone's father before them, by someone's son after them. This is not worship, it is something older and quieter. It is what a family does for the person it loves most. If you ever go to Puri, arrive before 4:30 in the morning, stand at the main door, watch the seal get checked, follow the day all the way through, stay until the doors close at midnight. And remember, the story you just heard is what happens after the doors close. You haven't seen any other temple in the world take care of a god the way this does. Because there isn't one. If you enjoyed watching this video, drop a comment below and tell me which moment stayed with you, which smell, which hour, which corner of that temple do you still think about? Because everyone who has spent a full day in Puri carries something home that they cannot quite explain, and I want to hear yours. Jai Jagannath.